So we just got the biggest update ever in Universal Tower Defense, and today we're going to be taking a look at the most broken team in the entire game, with some really crazy damage numbers. That's what we're checking out today. I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, maybe leave a like or subscribe. But anyways, let's get into it. Okay, hello guys. So today we're taking a look at the most broken team in the game, with both meanings of broken, okay? So like bugged, this team is possible because of a bug, and it is the strongest team in the game to my knowledge. And this is all using a method I found in the Universal Tower Defense Discord, so shout out and thank you to the original poster in there. And the team honestly looks pretty wacky. If you're looking at this, you probably wouldn't believe it's the best team in the game. You just gotta see it to believe it, okay? I'm gonna hop into an infinite and show it off real quick. So this method will take a little bit of farming. We got some money saved up here, that's why we run double farms on this team, because we have to max out both Gremmy and Yhwach, so it is pretty expensive. Which, by the way, these are the only two units on the team that need to have like relics on them. So for Gremmy, I have these relics right here, and then for Yhwach, I have these relics right here. But once we have both of these guys placed down, here's what we're going to do. So we're going to also place down a bunch of rare Bleach units here, so Orihime and Ranji. Place down all of our placements here right by our Gremmy and our Yhwach, and we're going to max out Yhwach. We're going to max out Gremmy, and already their damage is pretty good, right? Gremmy's got good DPS, 111k. Yhwach's got pretty okay DPS, 57k. But what we're going to do is on Gremmy, we're going to pop the top ability. That's going to give us a little bit more DPS with Bleed. And then the main part, okay, which this is probably going to be a bug. I would not be surprised if this gets patched pretty soon, but this is being recorded after the major bug fixing patch, so I don't know, man. Somehow this stayed in the game. But what we're going to do here is go to Yhwach and use his ability. If you've never used this guy before, he has two different forms, and we're going to choose the self-buffing one. And just watch what happens, okay? We're going to look right here, my screen immediately blows up with a lot of buff messages or whatever. And we can see a bunch of clones, a bunch of Gremmy clones. Now, mine are placed a little bit too far from the track to even hit anything, so we can't really test it killing these 1.4k HP enemies, unfortunately. But I'd imagine this can melt bosses if you place them close enough to the track. I mean, look at how many clones there are. And they're all doing 400k damage every 7. Of course, they are on a timer, but I don't think the timer really matters, because like they just kind of keep spawning. And I'm not 100% sure if it is a bug. It most likely is, because it bypasses the built-in limit that Gremmy's supposed to have for his clones, which says it's supposed to be capped at 3 clones right there. So I don't know, man. It's something to do with Gremmy spawning clones when debuffs are attempted on Bleach units, and then that passive combined with Yhwach. In the self-buffing mode, he's going to transfer debuffs applied to him onto other units in his range, but he's also going to like debuff himself, so he kind of triggers that on his own, I guess, and like, it looks like it's infinitely transferring the debuff that Yhwach gets for having units in his range onto the units in his range. And then because those units are getting debuffed, Gremmy is just creating clones over and over and over, which is bypassing the limit of 3 clones, and is instead like limited to I think 11 clones because of all the different rare units we have placed down. I'm like 99% sure this is the best combo in the game because it just does crazy amounts of damage. But again, it probably is a bug. Even if it is a bug though, I still think it's pretty cool. So today we're going to check it out in some of the hardest game modes and see how well we do. First we're going to try these guys out in the new Bleach raid, the boss rush mode, which in my experience is actually pretty hard. You have to have a pretty good team. We have to farm up for a little bit first because our strat is pretty expensive, so I don't know. I feel like the hard part with this strat altogether is that the clones don't have very much range, so I think with this boss fight thing, might actually kind of be a problem. We'll have to like move our team around quite a bit, I think, but I don't know, man. At the same time, I feel like once they end up patching this strat, because I'm sure they will, they'll end up patching the like infinite clone thing, the 12 clone thing. Once they end up patching it, you don't want to run rare units anymore. This team is still broken, because like just Gremmy and Yhwach alone, in my opinion, are probably the 2 best units in the entire game right now. They're at least like 2 of the top 5, so you can't really go wrong with this team if you slot in like any units in place of the rare ones. Like any other unit in the game could go where they are. Anyway though, I'll place down Gremmy back here for now to defend, Yhwach as well. And then if we can clear these fast enough, which looks like we can, well Gremmy's placement damage is crazy on upgrade 2. If we can clear these fast enough, I kind of want to relocate our setup to like closer to the front. Because I want to see how fast we can melt stuff eventually, but I don't know. I'm probably just going to time-lapse the rest until we get to like the crazy boss fights that kind of spawn in with the boss rush. Because it looks like for the first few waves at least, we're kind of melting everything. Not really much to talk about while we're doing this. Final wave, here we go. So, I struggled with one of the earlier bosses because this is boss rush, right? And there's like a boss every 5 waves. And I realized I'm pretty sure every time we replace Gremmy, even if he's like across the map from this Yhwach thing going on, he's always going to spawn in a bunch of clones. So, I'll try this out right now. Or I guess soon, whenever the boss leaves Gremmy's range here. If I replace Gremmy over here, he immediately just places all his clones, look, and then I can just go ahead and pop his max upgrade form here. And the clones are doing a bunch of damage still. I don't know, so I'm gonna keep replacing Gremmy over here. The final boss does like have a second health bar, which we just got to, so it might be kind of rough. I'm not sure if we can beat this, but it's up to Gremmy at this point. We could maybe move Yhwach, but I don't know. It might mess up the like whole debuffing thing, so I'm just gonna use Gremmy to try and kill this. Come on. Unfortunate. Looks like we cannot kill this raid. Okay, off to a bad start. But I think I might have a better idea to show them off anyway, because I just remembered a certain game mode exists. Okay, I got a really nice idea for showing off this team even better, because if we go into the Spider-Man game mode, we don't have to run 2 farms, we can just run 1 farm, and like keep our money after clearing the 5-wave game modes. I don't know, I have a whole guide on this game mode. But pretty much, we have another slot to use Iron Man this time for the buff, and hopefully it applies the buff to every single clone that Gremmy has. We're about to find out. I'm just gonna get this game mode done, and then get to the boss fights and show that off. Okay, I'm done with all the quests. I'm going to the Green Goblin boss fight right now. They definitely did something with the bug fix where like the movement feels a lot better in the Spider-Man mode now. But also, let's check if they have hill placements anywhere. Did they fix that yet? No? Okay. So 2 of my units on my team are useless. We actually don't get to use Iron Man at all. Thought by now they would have added hills in the boss fights, but I guess not. Only ground units, so can't really use the strats to the full potential, but it should still be good enough. We'll find out. Placing Gremmy down right there. I'm gonna max him out, and then place down my Yhwach right here, max him out eventually. And I'll place my Renjis down somewhere, like over here. Yeah, we can't place down Orihime, and we can't place down our Iron Man, so I don't know, the strat's not gonna be as effective in here, because they still haven't fixed the no hill placements thing in the boss arenas, but whatever. I guess we can still kind of check out the strat, so we'll get our self-buff mode going on Yhwach. Now we just gotta wait for the boss, so I'm gonna see what happens when he spawns in. Here we go, we got the Azure Imp spawning in. He's already getting melted. Not even in clone range, wow, okay. I'm assuming he might even die before he gets there. It looks like he will. Once he gets in clone range, what happens? Does he have any health left? Okay, he just kinda insta-dies. Well, I mean, the team made very short work of that boss, even without the Orihime placements or the Iron Man placements, so it's very strong. I'm gonna move on and do the other boss next, so Venom right here. Now the Venom fight actually does have hill placements in it, so that's very convenient. It's also in a pretty good spot. I'm gonna set up right over here. Then we maxed out my Gremmy already. I'm gonna max out my Yhwach and use his self-buff mode. Now we get to try out Orihime and Iron Man in here. Orihimes are all going down, Renjis are all going down. Then Iron Man going right here. Going to max him out and go into the defense mode. This should buff every Gremmy clone. Let me check. Defense mode. Yep, they all get buffed. Okay. Doesn't look like the SPA changes though. I think just the range and the damage. Either way, I want to see the damage on Venom, so we gotta wait a couple waves, but we'll be back in a second. Moment of truth, here we go. With every clone placed down, and we have the buffs from Iron Man too. Hyper Armor's taking a little bit to go down. We're not immediately melting it, but hold on. I'm not sure if all the clones can see him yet. It looks like only about half of them can. He should actually live long enough to get down to the track maybe to have all the clones hit him, so I don't know, I mean, we're melting him so quick already. This team is goated, man. I wonder, like, Yhwach's doing, okay, 35 million of our damage. Gremmy, 66 million, and then the clones do even more. Yeah, Gremmy's crazy, dude. And then we already won, so the only other boss to try this out on in the Spider-Man mode is the Mandarin one. I don't know, that guy's the easiest one out of all of them, so I'm not really going to bother with that. But I think I'm getting better clear times than like my normal team when I was doing the guide video for this, so this is also a goated team for the Spider-Man game mode apparently. Well, I think that's going to be all for this video. I just wanted to show off this bug team before it gets patched because it's pretty crazy, letting Gremmy spawn in like 15 clones or something. I don't know, even without the bug, I feel like Gremmy and Yhwach are kind of bananas, man. They really power crept this update, I think. But either way, thank you to my channel members for making the video possible. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.